We're recording.
Oh, well, I'm not ready yet. All right, now I am. All right, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to your Thursday edition of the TSJG Neighborhood News. Today is May 21st, 2020, and I am your host, Jessica Lopez, whose hair looks very different than that picture of many moons ago. As a reminder, as we continue our journey by coming together via Zoom, we can hear you if you're not muted. Please, while I go through the presentation, use the chat feature, and the other directors will chime in with any questions they see typed in the chat feature, which again is at the bottom of your screen. If you click on chat, you can type in any questions you might want to ask. If your video is on, we can see you. If you're unsure if your video is on, you can ask us at the beginning or end of the call. And a friendly reminder that background noises such as television, washing machines, meowing cats, and unruly husbands and or wives can be heard. So please mute yourself when you are not talking. A COVID update to start our day. So hot off the presses, there was an announcement today by the mayor, and as of 12:01 a.m. Tuesday, May 26th, the shelter-in-place order ends for Fresno County. All businesses can reopen unless specifically prohibited by the California stay-in-place order, which would include beauty shops, gyms, churches, etc. So restaurants may reopen with approval from the Department of Health, and those approvals will be contingent on their ability to meet physical distancing requirements as well as other infection control requirements. Masks must still be worn in businesses and obviously in government business, but they are stating that when out and about, it is not required. So this is very interesting because they had an order 2 days ago that said they are requiring masks at all times. And now, as of the 26th, they're saying you don't need masks when walking a dog and out and about in general. So again, continuous changes as we've experienced to date in regards to the orders. While this county order is really not going to impact operations at San Joaquin Gardens because we still have oversight by the Department of Social Services, the state agency, as well as the California Department of Public Health. So not a big change for us operationally in terms of what to expect from this update, but we will see more activity outside of San Joaquin Gardens as more businesses resume activity. So again, we'd ask that folks wear masks to follow the shelter-in-place guidelines. So essential businesses such as ours, we would ask that you wear masks. Valerie asked that I mention that she noted a lot of you will wear masks until you go to talk to someone and then you pull your mask down to talk to them. That really defeats the purpose of wearing a mask. The point is to protect others from you. So I know it's difficult, especially when folks are hard of hearing, because often when hard of hearing, you're reading lips to help also filter what is being said to you. And obviously, when wearing a mask, you're not able to do that. So again, please use good precautions, including wearing your masks, and in particular, when you're talking to one another. And if you cannot wear masks and communicate, you really need to watch that physical distancing. So again, why are we really not pushing, but encouraging folks to wear masks? You know, you're having a barrier to protect others from your cough or sneezes. The more the general public wears masks, the quicker we will get back to our quote unquote normal lives. My husband and I were having a conversation last night, and anybody that watches the news has seen the controversy about, well, it's my right, I shouldn't be forced to wear a mask. And I equated it to, you know, what must have happened, you know, back when they were enforcing laws about wearing seat belts. You know, people probably pushed back against that at that time, saying, well, it's my right, you know, to wear a seatbelt or not to wear a seatbelt. or it's, like drinking and driving. It's my right to, drink and drive. And then at some point, we as a society said, nope, that isn't a right. And we are going to do what's best for all versus, that one right that you feel so strongly about. So this is just new. So I think people are reeling against the newness of wearing masks in public, the newness of the government stepping in and saying this is for the greater good for people to wear masks. And I'm sure people are also reeling against the continuous changing in guidelines surrounding masks that we've gone throughout this whole pandemic. Masks aren't going to be helpful, then they are helpful. Well, the reality is they're learning and giving public policy all at the same time as they go through this pandemic. And right now, the research is telling us that wearing masks in public is helpful, will help us get back to our normal lives, will help us not, touch our mucous membranes area, that, our eyes, nose, and mouth, because we all could be asymptomatic carriers. So we really want to make that statement as a community. We are obviously full of folks that are considered to be at risk, for COVID. So we want to protect others, protect each other, protect our team members, and ultimately protect our loved ones. So we really want to encourage folks to wear masks and do so to the ability that you can. And we understand for some people who, maybe have asthma or already have difficulty breathing, they might not be able to wear masks, but to the extent that you can, it is a good thing to do so. What are the current statistics for Fresno County? As of May 20th, the total cases are 1,338 for COVID-19. Of those cases, 52 are travel related. We're up to 600 close contact spread, which is typically people that share a household. 516 community spread or unknown, and 170 are under investigation. Total deaths of individuals with a COVID diagnosis are 20. 166 individuals have been hospitalized with COVID. 416 have been recovered. So individuals currently being monitored by the Fresno County Department of Public Health are 3,178. To date, and currently being monitored are 808. So in our county, we have processed now over 15,180 tests. For San Joaquin Gardens, as of today, May 21st, 2020, we have 0 positive cases. We have 1 PUI case, which is a team member who is symptomatic at home and being tested. San Joaquin Gardens cumulative data. So this is our COVID activity year to date since we've begun tracking this. Total positive cases to date, again, remain 2. They've both since recovered. Total persons under investigation to date that we have been aware that they have been tested has been 49. So again, 49 individuals tested. Of those, we have had 2 that were positive and both have since recovered. Don't forget to tell us if you get tested. It's really important for us to track these numbers, to be aware of anybody being tested. So if you are being tested for COVID, which we are hearing from a lot of the test sites that they're running out of tests. For a while, they were encouraging people to come and get tested, even if not symptomatic. And now we are hearing that they are running low on tests and only testing symptomatic individuals. So again, if for any reason you are tested, please contact Valerie Epps at extension 8224 or Carol Freeman at extension 8240. Today, as I mentioned earlier, they ended the shelter-in-place current guidelines, which effectively just solidified that we are in stage 2 of California's overall reopening. So that's essentially what was stated today. They already had been alluding to the fact that we were going into stage 2. We were starting in stage 2. So I'm not sure exactly what the order was necessary for, other than to tell the state of California, this is where we are at, because we are still not entering stage 3, which would be opening schools, movie theaters, colleges, hair salons, things of that nature, aren't going to happen until, stage 3. So we still aren't there yet. We are still in stage 2. So the official announcement today was we are now in stage 2, which is correlating with what we see happening throughout California, as they've been able to flatten that curve to the extent that they are comfortable, that they have enough ICU beds and hospital beds and ventilators, as well as PPE. They now feel comfortable opening up more businesses, which will, of course, have more activity and interaction, which will cause those numbers to creep up. So now the interesting statistics will be in the next 2 to 3 weeks, as we see the increase in activity in the Fresno and Clovis area. Will we see an increase in those COVID numbers, which would correlate to that increase in interaction? So we are officially in stage 2 now, and how long we stay in stage 2 or if we revert back to stage 1 will really be determined by the numbers of COVID cases. So this is the question we probably ask ourselves every day: when will the COVID-19 pandemic end? And this is my first article that was provided to us by one of our very own residents, as I sent that email out last week soliciting all news reporters to provide information. And thank you to everyone that provided that information. But I thought this was a really interesting New York Times article that went out on May 10th. And it basically said, when you look to history, when pandemics have ended, has been 2 types of endings: the medical ending, which is a vaccine or having moved through the population, or when the social norms said enough. We're tired of the fear about the disease. We're tired of talking about it and these restrictions being placed on us, and that the fear of that disease wanes and people resume normal activity. So when people ask, when will this end, there's really 2 ways it could end. It could end because the disease is vanquished, but as we know, and you see in the news, they feel like a vaccine is at least 12 to 18 months out. Or it can start to end with people pushing for the economic reopening, which is really what we're seeing in the news right now. People pushing for that economic reopening, people pushing to say, you know what, I don't want to be forced to stay in my home. I'm tired of sheltering in place. I want to get out and live my life, which is more of that social side. So pandemics historically could tend to end socially before they end medically. And so right now, we are starting to allow a little more freedom, and those restrictions may come back. It will really be interesting to see if that social pressure continues and will allow this newfound stage 3 of our unsheltering to continue despite the rise in the numbers. So just an interesting article, I thought, in terms of when you look to history, people do just tend to grow so tired of the restrictions that they will declare the pandemic over, even as that virus continues to smolder in the population before a vaccine is found because of the societal push to have that occur. Another article that was sent that I thought was really interesting and honestly not surprising to me at all, because I have a phobia about this, which is hand washing. So we've all talked about the importance of hand washing your hands for at least 20 seconds, the importance of that friction, using clean water and soap. We've all heard to sing happy birthday to ourselves twice and really get in there and scrub between the fingers on all sides. People talk a lot about the actual washing, but what they haven't talked about is the drying, and how that too can be an essential part of keeping disease at bay. And this article looked specifically at the research surrounding proper hand drying, and how that is an often overlooked part of hand washing, and what you dry your hands with and how you dry your hands are equally important. So how many of us dry our hands on a towel that the entire family uses, or use the hand dryers, which, a lot of public restrooms have hand dryers, whether it's for a financial benefit or a lack of labor to restock them, or simply an environmental thought. But those hand dryers, what do? They push air at the water to disperse it. Well, that dispersion puts all those microorganisms, particles through the air that people could then inhale. So if somebody had not done a great job hand washing, had COVID on their hands, stick their hands in that hand dryer and that air just pushes it out for everyone in the restroom to then inhale. And it's a very fascinating look on another potential hazard that we have to be aware of. So really the best and most hygienic method of hand drying is disposable paper towels. And that's kind of the research and the hypothesis behind this article that they believe was confirmed. So very interesting look at a part of hand washing that many of us hadn't ever considered. I personally don't like using those hand dryers because I just felt like they were never clean to begin with, and everybody is, putting their hands in that same area. But when you look at hospitals and clinics, you won't find hand dryers in any of those areas because they are firmly aware pre-COVID that that's not the best method for hand drying. So, should we carry some paper towels in our purse with us so we always have it? Hand sanitizer. I've got the vodka ready to go if we need to make our own. But it's important that we consider these things as we go into reemerge into society and begin going shopping and doing some of these other things. COVID is still here. We have to be more hyper vigilant than we are used to being as a society in terms of how we interact with one another, how we wash our hands, and how we dry our hands as well. So I thought a very interesting look at another piece of how we can protect ourselves and something we can obviously control. So again, a reminder as I walk out and about on campus, as we begin to reemerge in this new phase as ending the shelter in place, kind of current guidelines, and more businesses emerge and more quote unquote normalcy returns to society. COVID is still active, and we don't want our social norms to push back our physical distancing requirements, because it's so easy for us to slip into old habits and getting close to talk to one another, and not wearing our masks, etc. So just another important reminder, and I've seen you all doing such a great job of this, of keeping a minimum of 6 feet. And I think a lot of people don't realize how big, what 6 feet actually equates to. And so, you've seen, people on the news with like pool noodles on a hat going over their head, measuring out 6 feet and different things. But it's, 6 feet is a great distance. And so just a reminder that you need to have that physical distancing, because that's why outdoor exposure is less scary than indoor exposure, because outdoor exposure, it's going to be usually finite in time, a quick passing. You've got all that open space. If you keep that 6 feet, the likelihood of somebody getting infected in an outdoor venue where there's lots of space and 6 feet of distance is so minimal. So again, that's where we most likely will see the emergence of us beginning to gather officially as a community will be in outdoor spaces. And we expect that to occur soon. We're working with the Department of Social Services to approve our ability to do that right now. Some of our residents, we asked, they provided some of their personal insight into how they're finding peace during this COVID time. So one resident said, I stay busy, I stay occupied. I feel like doing that is crucial. I've made ear savers that are picked up by a nurse. They go to St. Agnes and Valley Children's, making baby blankets, octopus, they're so cute, for preemie babies at St. Agnes and Valley Children's. And as a former preemie baby myself, I thank you. Made 35 crosses that were hand delivered to people here on campus, doing puzzles, Bible studies, phone calls, and friends and TV to fill in the gaps. So just keeping yourself busy. Another resident said, just looking for contentment, looking for ways to find that feeling of contentment and joy, feeling so fortunate to not have to worry about jobs or income, having an abundance of what they need here at San Joaquin Gardens, and really finding it pretty peaceful not to have a schedule to keep up with, not to have to go herd myself through traffic, especially getting out on Fresno Street when you're trying to go, left, which never really happens well. But ultimately said, with age comes contentment and peace, and that God is good. And I just couldn't agree more. So thank you for all of you that shared your news articles, that shared your personal sentiments. I have so much material, but I would love so much more. So continue to send me anything that you find of interest, and we will use that either on the TSJG Neighborhood News, or we'll use that in our weekly newsletter. So this week's newsletter will feature a lot of reporting by some of our very own residents. So we thank you. So just a friendly reminder, and it's so good to see you all going to the message boxes, that your message boxes are up and running. So I've gotten to see many of you come here to the Valencia building to check your message boxes, and so many of you have stopped me to say, how great that normalcy has been, just to be able to get back in there and check your message boxes. We haven't seen any, masses of people huddled together. Everybody's being respectful of social distancing and wearing their masks. And so I couldn't be prouder of this community's response to this pandemic, both from a team member front, but also from a resident front. You all are doing such a great job of taking care of one another and honoring one another by maintaining these physical distances and masks, etc. So just a friendly reminder that those message boxes are up and running. A lot of you said that you found your Mother's Day cards from me in there, so I'm glad that you got those. But we will continue to put your information in your message boxes. For any resident that isn't comfortable or doesn't feel like they can, we will deliver your information from your message box to you. And again, just call that Connect line at 430-8216, and we'll be glad to bring that to you. In case you didn't know, because sometimes figuring out what day of the week is a conundrum these days, Monday is Memorial Day, May 25th. So the administration offices will be closed. However, I will still host the TSJG Neighborhood News on Monday as scheduled at 3 o'clock, and I will do it from home. So I can't guarantee what my children will be doing in the background, but I will continue to provide you the updates. It'll probably be a shortened version because I won't have a lot of material, as the other directors will be off. But I will continue our Zoom time together as scheduled. And you might have some special news correspondence in Olivia, Dominic, and Emma on that day. Our sales team continues to be active. In fact, they have seen I would say a degree of uptick in activity. So a lot more phone calls, requests for tours, etc. We are currently not doing tours at this time, although we are working with the state of California to allow us to do minimal scheduled tours with vetted individuals so that we can continue to keep that pipeline going, which is so important to our overall financial viability. But right now, our marketing team, Alexis, Blinn, and Ruthie, have been providing video tours to residents. Some of you participated in their test runs for those video tours. But beginning today, our website will offer a pop-up to advertise these video tours. So it's an exciting new feature. So if you're curious, you can go on our website and check it out. Next week, an email blast will go out to all of our leads offering these video tours. And early June, our lead base will receive postcards featuring personalized video tour abilities. So we're excited to provide that service. We continue to stay somewhat strong in all of our levels of living outside of our Village Healthcare Center, although that's gone up just a little bit. But in residential living, we're slightly below budget at $239, assisted living at $53, and memory care at $28. So we have 4 available apartments in Tuscany. I hope that you Tuscany residents finally got your nameplates put up so that we don't miss you for the Wednesday treat day. Sequoia, we have 5 apartments. Piazza, we have 5 apartments. And Milano, we have 7 apartments. This past week, I asked our sales team if they could distribute cards to all of our ambassadors. So all of our resident ambassadors received some cards that were created specifically for Human Good. And they are really adorable and cute. And so we are so excited to share those with you. And our ask is that you mail them out, whether it's to one of your fellow residents or to a family member or to a friend. We want to spread the joy in any way that we can. So mail out those cards, spread some goodwill, because that's what makes San Joaquin Gardens special, is our, the way we nurture each other's spirit. In the lodges, they're still finding fun ways to serve the residents there and get them together, whether it's cocktails or cake. We're always celebrating and honoring all that they do, and we thank that team over in our lodges. For lifestyle enrichment, we had this is your touchdown schedule. This will go out to all of you, but for Memorial Day, there is a special touchdown schedule. There'll be a video of taps followed by Chris Abejo singing, interesting facts about Memorial Day, all of this on channel 88 for you throughout the day. So we look forward to having you enjoy that during your Memorial Day, should you choose. Coming this summer, we will have a summer scavenger hunt. So stay tuned for more information, which will be placed on Touchtown. But you'll start to have a summer scavenger hunt where I'm sure prizes will be awarded. Thank you to everyone who participated in our resident poster contest. They were really, really good. I specifically like that the clever use of masks on folks. It was a really great job. So these are our winners. We are so thankful. There's 2 pages of winners, so a big thank you. I believe it was the Rurix, I think was the first one, Westgate, and then Painters, I believe, Terry Painter. Was the first one the Rurix, Michelle? I'm pretty sure it was. I think it was.
Yes, as well as the second. The Rurix did the second one, but they are featuring Jim Westgate.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I see. Very good. So cute. Very good. And then this was our other winner. So I loved the sayings on these. Romeo, Romeo, is it thou, Romeo? And it says, ah, sweet Juliet, 'tis me, Romeo, with my mask to protect you against the virus. And then only real men wear masks. Wearing a mask is an act of kindness. Act kindly. When Irish eyes are smiling, you don't notice the mask. And then finally they asked Tonto, who is that masked man? And Tonto answered, that is a virus guardian. So very good marketing. You guys might want to get with Alexis and Ruthie to help us with our marketing campaigns, because these are very, very good. So congratulations to all of our winners. And we will be bringing each of you a gift as a thank you for your creativity and ingenuity. And all of these will be featured throughout the campus. So thank you for encouraging your fellow residents to wear masks. Again, a big thank you from everybody on the dining team. They've received your emails and your feedback regarding all of the meals that as of late, and a big thank you to all of the kudos that we've seen you send in these last few weeks. The abundance of kindness and positive feedback you've given the dining team has not gone unnoticed. So thank you, and continue to give us both constructive and positive feedback. The team is really energized downstairs and just focused and really in a great place right now. So we're really thankful to Chef Mike for his leadership, and Anna has been a superstar for us. Anna Garrett has really come in and brought a breath of fresh air for us. So we're so thankful for both of them and the leadership they provided. That's renewed that energy in that team, and you see that in the quality of food that y'all are receiving. So a big thank you to both of them. So just a reminder about that alternative menu that is out there, should you not want what's on the menu or just want to change in pace, that this is available for you. Also, Memorial Day will feature a special lunch. So if you don't normally get lunch on Memorial Day, please call us and let us know, because if you like barbecue, you're most likely going to want to have lunch that day. So please call Dining Services if you want to switch to lunch or have lunch and dinner this day. There'll be barbecued ribs, corn on the cob, potato salad, creamy Dixie coleslaw, fresh sliced watermelon wedges, and apple pie. It doesn't get more American than that, ladies and gentlemen. So if you'd like to make sure you get lunch on Memorial Day so you can enjoy some good old American barbecue, please call Dining Services and let us know. Today we hosted our first birthday bunch lunch since the pandemic. So we celebrated with all of the March, April, and May babies. And next birthday celebration will be June 18th at 12 p.m. So all of our June babies will receive an invitation for a special Zoom lunch. And then the whole campus will receive a special lunch that day. So again, if you don't normally get lunch and you want to make sure you get that special birthday lunch, please let us know so we can make sure you get that on June 18th. Wednesday, May 20th, yesterday was Strawberries and Cream Day. So we hoped all of you enjoyed that sweet treat, and a few residents even dressed in accordance with the day. So thank you for helping us honor Strawberries and Cream Day, May 20th. But May 27th is National Macaroon Day. I cannot believe how many foods have a day to them. I'm not sure if we're just making this up or not at this point, but I will gladly eat the macaroons. So Wednesday, May 27th will be National Macaroon Day. So Chef Mike and his team will be busy baking these gluten-free coconut macaroons for our Wednesday weekly treats. So look forward to receiving those next Wednesday. For building and grounds, isn't that beautiful? We have such beautiful gardens here. So for all of our Piazza residents, we will be shutting the gas off tomorrow from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Now, you still will be able to take a hot shower in the morning. There is a reserve tank of water that will already be heated up. So as long as you take a shower before 9:30, you're going to most likely get a warm shower. But we need to do that so we can install an earthquake valve that will automatically shut the gas off during a seismic event. So we apologize for this inconvenience, but it is required that we do this. So again, as long as folks get up and take that shower early in the morning, you shouldn't have any inconvenience in terms of that, but you will see some hot water throughout the day until we get that back online. Milano and Piazza window washing will begin next Tuesday, so get ready to have some beautiful views of TSJG through your clean windows. The Sequoia elevator modifications on elevators 2 and 4 has been pushed back to June 15th, so we will not begin commencing that work until June 15th for the Sequoia elevators 2 and 4. Nothing to update on our security report, but please remember if you have any security issues to contact us at 696-1910, and that number is answered 24 hours a day. Every cloud has a silver lining, so always look for the silver lining and try to find the sunny side of life. And we have a lot to celebrate today. John May celebrates a birthday. So John, if you're on this call or listening to this on Touchdown, we wish a very happy birthday to you. Barb Carr, happy birthday, my friend. I know you're on this call, so we wish you the happiest birthdays. Couldn't ask for a better birthday buddy than you. Thank you to all your well wishes and happy birthdays to me. Appreciate that. Sally Kuhn, you have a birthday tomorrow, May 22nd, as well as Gerald Stoltenberg and Shirley Lauders. And then Mr. Irvin Rule, who we celebrated with earlier today, celebrates a birthday on May 23rd. So happy birthday to all of you fellow May babies. We trust that your birthday will be blessed and a happy one. And we look forward to next year when we can all be together celebrating. So please call up all these May babies, wish them a happy birthday. Thank them for all they do to make this community a great one, because these May babies are pretty special, if I do say so myself. So a few of you responded to my call and inquiries, and I asked you to send some funnies. So a cartoon that was sent in by a resident showing, as Julie Kondo said, all of the crazy looking hair earlier and somebody in the back alley offering haircuts. I hope that's not Pam because we don't want her to get in trouble. And then finally, Mrs. Jones got a little too used to watching online worship from home once she returned to celebrating with her congregation in person. All right, Dennis Painter. As a reminder, we have the Hunt for the Gnome. The gnome will be relocated every Friday morning, so call in your sightings of the gnome by 5 p.m. each Wednesday night. The winner will be drawn live on Thursday's neighborhood Zoom call. So, Dennis, are you ready to draw the winner for us?
I am ready.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen. And let's see, where are you, sir? All right, take it away, Dennis. Draw the winner.
All right, we have our bowl and my mask. I have one little slip I pulled out of there. There are about 10 of them. And this week's winner is Barbara Volker.
Oh, Barbara.
Congratulations,
Congratulations.
Barbara.
Thank you.
Barbara Volker at the concierge desk will be your guest.
All right, some cookies for Barbara Volker. She hasn't had enough sweets today, so congratulations. And with that, we leave. Yeah, so I will go ahead and share my screen and Michelle can